Hi guys, I'm Mae. This is Sam, and welcome to Workshop 6, which is called Advice About Advice. This workshop is all about being wary of taking advice. So it's a bit of an ironic one. So when Sam and I kind of started, we kind of fell into this trap, like I think everyone else does. And you go out and you basically try and ask everyone you can about advice to obviously help you along the way. And then what we found out was actually 99% of the advice was absolutely useless, waste of our time, and caused us way more panic than it did help. So fortunately, Sam and I have kind of made all of the mistakes that there are to make when it comes to advice, and we want to kind of share this wisdom with you. So we have 6, I guess, people or advisors that we've kind of come across that we kind of want to let you know who to avoid, basically. And but yeah, Sam, who are these 6 people that we should stay away from or be aware of?
Yes, exactly. Just be aware of them. Not like some people do give great advice, but yeah, these are definitely the categories to look out for. Question who these people are, I think, before you just take what they say as gospel. Okay, so number 1, the Fexperts. What are these titles that I came up with? Okay, so basically, these are the people that claim to be experts, but actually have literally zero experience in the place that they're claiming to have expertise in. So the perfect example I have written down in the article for you to have a look at is, this is my favorite example. So I once came across someone who is a CEO coach who had literally never been a CEO. When someone says that they're an expert, have they actually ever done that job, or have they actually ever done the thing that they're saying they're an expert in? That is, incredibly important. So have a look at their background, basically.
Coaches are one I think to look out for, because there's so many of them out there, aren't there? But what does that mean?
Point number 2, pointlessness. So lots of people just have an opinion for the sake of it. I'm definitely guilty of being this person, by the way, so I am not exempting myself from any of these things. If you're asking someone for advice, it's very easy for that person to feel like they need to say something as well. They need to give you advice because you're looking for it. So just be aware of people that are just like sticking their oar in because they feel like they need to have something to say rather than actually having something to say.
And I think, like, from like my experience, it's like you do know more than you know. So if it doesn't sit well with you, like if someone's told you something and you think, well, I don't understand that, or that doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, go with your kind of intuition.
Absolutely. Don't just accept what people tell you. It's just not really, there's a lot of like, not frauds, I think that's a strong word, but there's a lot of like people out there who are claiming things that actually don't necessarily have any knowledge about it. Okay, the next one is something that I see people falling into the trap of so much, being CEO blind. Just because someone has a high level title does not mean that they know what they're talking about. Lots of people have got to that level through chance, circumstance, contacts. They're good at a very specific role. Just because they have a C level title or a head of or a, oh God, what's it called? Like a GHOF, which is like a global head of, does not mean that they have the answer to every question, and they might not even have the answer to any questions. They might have purely got there through contacts or whatever. So don't be blinded by the title. Okay. And also, like, it depends what you're asking as well. If you're asking about, bear in mind that a CEO or, whatever, a head of, or, high level title, they deal with very high level decision making. And so they won't know things like, I don't know, like if you're asking about grassroots problems, like how do I attract a specific type of audience, or like what kind of office should I be looking for? I don't know, I'm literally making up these questions, but like they're not going to know those because that's not within their remit. They're like above that. Again, just because they're a CEO does not mean they have the answers to the questions. This is number 4. Okay, so outdated advice. If you're asking a question about a specific circumstance or about something that you need an immediate response to. If that person hasn't had experience within that area in the last 2 years, it's very likely that their answer will be out of date. I mean, you're unlikely to get an answer that is relevant to the time that you're in at that point. A lot happens in 2 years, and we're living in an age where like technology advances so quickly that like Twitter 2 years ago looked totally different to how it does now, for example. So be careful of like the timeline of when people have had experience in what you're asking about. That's something to really bear in mind. It's hard to find out as well. And number 5, there is no answer. This is something I think that took us ages to work out, is that you can ask as many people as you want. You're not going to get a unanimous response. Like, you're not going to get one answer from absolutely everyone that you ask, because people are different. They look at things differently. And so if you are looking for that perfect answer, you're not going to get it. Like, essentially, if you ask 5 people, you will get 5 different answers, and then you'll have to choose between them. So your own intuition, as Mae was saying before, that is incredibly important. You have to, don't rely on someone else to have the answers. You actually have the answer yourself. And then finally, endlessness. Advice does not have an end. You can literally ask anything forever and it will always change. So you have to put a cap on the amount of advice that you're asking, because it can just go on and on and on and on and on. And I think for us, like, we definitely go to a very specific, like, we go to like a very limited number of people who we trust now for advice about very specific things within their remit, because we know that if we keep asking as many people as we possibly can, like, there is just no end to it. You know, it is your journey. At some point you have to make a decision and you have to move forward. And so I guess the last 2 are quite interlinked in the way that there is no answer, because it is endless. So, you know, you can't kind of like offload the decision making onto someone else, because you have to make a decision at the end of the day, and you have to be able to move forward with your whatever you're asking the question about.
And I think there's like constructive advice, like constructive advisors. Like, you'll just know the people who you want to go back to, who also understands that advice can be all these things. So they're kind of telling you and shaping you, as opposed to you know, like giving you bad advice, if that makes sense. So I think again, it's that intuition. It's kind of going back to those people that you trust, that you know, and they also know why you're coming for advice. So at the end of the day, you'll get what you need from it.
Exactly. So the next workshop that we're going to be covering is actually all about 7 steps how to get a career mentor. So Mae and I have had like a number of mentors throughout our kind of, I guess, business journey. But it's actually really hard, like, to find a mentor. It's important to have one, I think, if that's, you know, like, if that's your jam. Like, not everyone has to have one at all. But it's really hard to find a mentor if you've literally got no contacts and you're just starting out. So the next workshop that we're doing is going to basically cover how to get a mentor, so that you can have that person to go to for advice that you really trust, who knows you and your business, or like, you know, your career and things like that. And so you don't have to like re-explain stuff every single time, because that's also an issue, is that getting advice can be time consuming. So look out for that one. That'll be next week.
And with every workshop, there is an article. So again, there's an article that reiterates everything that we said. It's in the comment section below, also on our website. And yeah, we are launching an app in October, if you don't know. It's going to be around career and self-development. So again, check that out on our website, www.meet-eric.co. And we'll see you next time for workshop 7.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye everyone. See ya.